Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's update on Invest 98L. So, Invest 98L now has a 90% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 48 hours and a 90% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 5 days, and it is expected to move into an area of the Caribbean where the ocean temperatures are exceptionally warm and the warm water goes exceptionally deep. So, in the Central and Northwestern Caribbean, Invest 98L is likely going to strengthen quickly, and Jamaica is now in the path in the immediate future. Looking at the satellite imagery of Invest 98L, we're still dealing with the east-northeasterly wind shear, and which is coming from the outflow of Hurricane Fiona, but we have started to notice some more consistent deep convection west-southwest of the center of circulation, and we're going to have to watch to see if this model, if this trend in increased thunderstorm activity continues, because this could be the first signs that it is starting to develop a little bit. And we're getting extremely heavy rain across the ABC Islands from Invest 98L as as it tries to develop in the South Central Caribbean, and storms are moving over the ABC Islands, probably delivering a few quick inches of rain while doing so. And looking at the wind shear map, you can see that we're still dealing with some pretty strong wind shear, but Invest 98L is starting to move out of the outflow of Hurricane Fiona, and over the next several days, it'll be moving in an area of almost no wind shear whatsoever. And this, combined with the extremely hot sea surface temperatures, are going to combine to really quickly strengthen Invest 98L into something very strong over the next several days. So looking at the GFS model, or the European model to start off with, Invest 98L is still a disorganized tropical wave moving through the ABC Islands. And as we go into Friday, it starts to lift a little bit west-northwest, south of the Dominican Republic. Going into Saturday, it moves into the Central Caribbean, into the very favorable environment for strengthening. And this is where it starts to develop sometime around Saturday or Sunday. By Sunday, we are dealing with likely a tropical storm moving to the south of Jamaica. In fact, this latest European model run shows a tropical storm almost hitting Jamaica on Sunday afternoon, with as a strong tropical storm, bringing very heavy rain to the islands, and then it strengthens and moves over the Cayman Islands as a strong tropical storm on early on late Sunday, early Monday, September the 26th, and then we see rapid intensification in the European model to a Category 2 hurricane as it is turning towards Cuba by Monday, September the 26th, Monday afternoon. And the latest European model wants to take Invest 98L as a Category 3 hurricane into South Florida between Naples and Miami by Tuesday, September the 27th, and skirt across southeastern Florida through Tuesday into Wednesday, and then re-enter the Atlantic and move northeast just off the east coast through Friday, September the 30th, and possibly yet again into Canada. Looking at the GFS model, I will tell you right now, has a further west solution. So the GFS model begins to develop Invest 98L into a tropical storm by Sunday, September the 25th in the Central to Southwestern Caribbean, and then rapidly strengthens it into a strong tropical storm by Monday, September the 26th, heading a little bit farther southwest of Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. And the GFS model brings a worst case scenario for the United States, where we have a rapidly intensifying major hurricane southwest of Cuba and east of the Yucatan Peninsula, moving through the passage between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula, and then into the Gulf with no land interaction. We could be dealing with a strong Category 4 or even a Category 5 hurricane by the 28th, Wednesday, September the 28th, or Thursday, September the 29th, approaching the western Florida Peninsula to the southern Florida Panhandle. So if you are in Florida, you really need to be watching Invest 98L, because this is a third day in a row that both models are making a landfall somewhere in Florida. And we could be dealing with a Category 4, even 5 hurricane, because of the ocean temperatures are just off the charts in the Northwestern Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. It is bath water. The ocean, the warm waters run very deep, so even if this hurricane churns up the water, it'll be churning up more warm water instead of cooler water. So this is just a very bad situation that could be unfolding across areas of Florida and the southeastern United States between September the 28th and September the 30th. Looking at the spaghetti model plots for where Invest 98L is expected to be moving, it is expected to move in the Central Caribbean over the next 3 days, passing southwest of Jamaica in the next 72 hours, and nearing Cuba in the next 96 hours, possibly going over Cuba, the western Cuba, in the next 120 hours. A couple of models make a landfall in the northeastern Yucatan Peninsula in the next 120 hours, and then all the models take Invest 98L where we do not want it to go, into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. And this will be reflected in the intensity model guidance. The wind shear will keep 98L very weak over the next 60 to 72 hours, but once it moves out of that wind shear, it is going to take off, and almost all the models take it to Category 2 or 3 hurricane status in the next 96 to 120 hours. So we're going to continue to really watch these intensity model trends as we get closer to impacts in Cuba, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Yucatan Peninsula, and or the United States. And finally, we're going to start to look at possible rainfall totals from Invest 98L in areas like Cuba, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands. It's too soon to make any rainfall projections for the United States, as we're still about 6 days out, but the European model is putting about 2 to 5 inches with isolated 8-inch totals across Jamaica with the further east track, and is bringing the Cayman Islands about 5 to 8 inches, and then areas of central western Cuba anywhere on average between 2 to 5 inches with isolated 8 inches where the center goes. And then the GFS model, which has the further west solution, only brings about 1 to 2 inches with isolated 3 inches across Jamaica, about 2 to 4 inches across the Cayman Islands, and then only the far western tip of Cuba gets significant rain from Invest 98L in this scenario, with the western tip getting anywhere between 3 and 10 inches the closer you get to the center. So I'm going to continue to monitor Invest 98L very closely over the coming days, as it is now becoming a big threat to the southeastern United States Gulf Coast, Cuba, and possibly even the Cayman Islands and Jamaica and Yucatan Peninsula. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening, my friends.